Just a second. Oops. Okay. Hey guys, this is Jakob. I'm content manager and I'm helping small and medium enterprises, content business coaches, consultants with their content strategy. In my podcast, Content Marketing Mastery, I'm interviewing people who are executing great ideas and creating great and awesome content. And today I'm going to speak with somebody who worked already with Sir Elton John and Elon Musk. He sent people down to the sea, to the wreck of the Titanic. He closed museums in Florence for private dinner parties. And he's also, the media is naming him as the real life Wizard of Oz. Steve Sims is in my podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, it's a real honor to speak today with you because I'm really a big fan when it comes to your methodology and executing things. That's the one thing that I like the most about you, that you're not a talker and that you just have ideas, that you're really doing the things. That's the key to success, and that's also the key for the success for especially for entrepreneurs. And that's really what I like about you. So thank you
very much. It's easier than thinking too much.
Yeah. So when it comes to when I'm preparing for the interview questions for the interviews, I send always these questions, and one is, what is one thing that you're really proud of, the biggest win in your life? And you wrote in a very interesting answer. Normally people write something like, yeah, the success of my business and or other things, and you wrote removing fear was your answer. So this is one thing that you're really proud of, and I thought that's interesting to start the conversation, because I asked myself, okay, does this mean that he's never afraid of something, or and why is this something that he's so proud of? So can you explain this?
Yeah, you said to me, am I never frightened of anything? I get frightened a lot. And I think fear comes in many different clothes. We can be nervous, we can be terrified, we can be cautious. They're all different levels of fear.
Yes.
But here's the funny thing. Fear is the only thing that controls and dictates our moods and actions. Okay? If you're happy, you're happy. There's only one area of happy. If you're scared, there's many different levels of fear and intimidation. Yes. and being terrified. So there's a wider range of fear, but the main thing that it does is it controls how we actually respond. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times when we're scared of something, we stop. And when we stop, just in life, you die. So you've got to make sure that the way you react to fear, and there's the key word, react. The way you react to fear is everything. Don't let it dictate your mood. Don't let it dictate how you do things. React positively. So for argument's sake, I used to do a lot of boxing and kickboxing.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And I enjoyed it and I was okay. But there's always someone that comes into the gym that can kick you on your ass. There's always someone that shows up better than you. And so getting in the ring or on the mat with someone that I'd never fought before, I get nervous. Yes. But every time I train my brain, hey, I'm not going to allow the fear to control me, because if it controlled me, I wouldn't have shown up tonight. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to allow it to fuel me. I'm going to allow that fear and intimidation and nervousness to push me to conquer it. So yes, I would still get kicked in the ass, but as we always know, it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. Mm-hmm. You know, like I remember, you watch the Hollywood movies, someone throws a punch, the guy goes flying through the air, through the window, outside of the saloon or something like that. If anybody has ever punched anyone in the head, you know they don't go flying through the air, okay? Yeah. So, and if you've ever got a punch in the head, you go, well, I don't like it, but it's not as bad as what it looks like on a Hollywood movie. And you suddenly start realizing that our brain, it amplifies the fear. If we're scared of something, it amplifies it by 20 times that. So that when you do actually participate in it, you go, it wasn't that scary, actually. It's like jumping out of a plane, parachuting, or riding a motorcycle fast. It's got risk, but if you react to it appropriately, you become in control. So I think one of the great things that I was happy about, and let's transfer it to entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are usually very scared of getting involved in certain business or trying things different in the world of social or in advertising. They're scared. Until you try it, you don't realize if it was as scary as you thought or whether or not it bites you. But by doing nothing, that's when all of the fear kind of comes alive and wins. So I wasn't going to allow it to dictate the way that I moved.
Yeah, great answer. Cool. Really cool. So it's cool that you also mentioned this analogy with martial arts, because I am doing Taekwondo, so the Korean martial arts, and it's also some boxing. And yeah, this also reminds me, I'm always looking, okay, who's the biggest, who's the heaviest guy that I can compete with, because I'm learning the most when I choose these guys.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's how I think, because normally my training partners that I know in the training, I would never choose them when I'm on a competition or somewhere on an event. I'm always choosing the people that I don't know, who maybe have a different style, and that's also it's also related to the business world. I always try new things that are outside of the comfort zone. That's also something that you're teaching, stretching yourself as an entrepreneur, doing things differently. Also, this is also some cool thing with your mastermind, Speak Easy Mastermind, where you do really cool, fun things with people who are attending, right?
Yeah, we do. We have a 2-day event called a Speakeasy. Nobody knows where it's going to be. Nobody knows who's going to be there. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We literally like to get people kind of nervous and uncomfortable. And then we end up doing something pretty cool. And it may be in the morning, it may be in the evening, but we never do more than 40 people. But this constant kind of like, what are we going to do? Who are we going to meet? Has really, really worked very, very well for us. So the next Speakeasy is in July in San Diego. And we've been doing them for 3 years now, and they've been real. I have to admit, we've got a lot of people that always come and come back.
Yes.
But I think I do them more for me than anyone else. I just like doing them.
That's cool. That's the coolest thing as an entrepreneur. You can do the things that you love and scale it and make a business, make a living from it. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
So you're doing crazy things like going in prisons, or going to Tesla was also one thing that I found. Okay.
We've gone into prison, we've gone to Tesla, we've gone to Elon's Gigafactory, we've gone to the most famous brothel in Reno. We've gone to the headquarters of a server factory where they collect all the data for like eBay and Ford. Heavily protected. It's like more protected than government. We've been inside there. We've been on the rooftop of Louis Vuitton. We've been in one of the most famous recording studios in Hollywood. We get some really cool stuff.
I mean, when I first Googled your name, I found also this picture of Elon Musk, and I thought, okay, how is when it comes to networking? I mean, these people are very high level. So Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Elton John, and much more that you work with, that you also know. So what is, in your opinion, the most important lesson that you can give to earn the trust of these kind of people who, yeah, they are on the top of the pyramid, so to say? So what is the lesson that you can share with people?
You've always got to turn up as a solution. Now, I say that slowly so people can write it down. But a lot of people turn up to someone selfish. They will turn up and they'll go, "Oh, Mr. Musk, how are you? My name's Steve Sims. And, if you could help me with my business, or if I could get a picture of you for my business, or if I could have you give a testimonial for my business," it's all very selfish. and they get that a million times a day. But if you turn up to these people going, hey, have you looked at doing this for your social content? It would help you. Have you thought of changing the tagline on your company brochure to this because you'll get more visibility? Have you thought of doing this? Have you thought of, if you show up validating that you are a solution and you've been thinking of how you can help them, then you go from being a selfish person to becoming a solution. And when you're a solution, you're an asset. When you're selling, you're an aggravation. So if you can turn up to anyone that you want to network and go, hey, if I turned up to you and I went, hey, how are you? You don't know me. I like your podcast, but I've got an idea how we could make your podcast 20 times more successful by doing these 3 things. Would you be interested to hear what they are? You're going to say yes, you know, because I'm in front of you giving you a solution. And then you're going to go, well, okay, maybe you could do it for me and I'll retain you. I'll employ you because you're now an asset to me. So everyone that I've shown up with, I've done something for them to become an asset and not just simply someone that's being selfish.
Yeah, very important. Cool. So helping and actually helping them by actually helping them. It's also
by helping them. Now, you know, by you helping them, it's going to help you. You know, me helping Elton John, me helping Elon Musk, me helping Richard Branson helps me because now I'm working with Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and Elton John. It's great for my credibility. It's great for my marketing. It's great for my media. So it helps me. But as long as I lead with how I can help them, I will win naturally.
So, and when it comes, I mean, for me, for example, it's so far away to work with an Elon Musk. And how can I identify his needs or his core problems so that I can become a solution? So it is for me, it's like a little bit traveling to the moon a little bit. I mean, it's an inspiring idea, but how to execute it and how to make it happen? So how can I identify how I can help this person or for anybody?
So the worst thing for you to do is to ask them. That's the worst thing you can do. Because I get a lot of people, and you probably get it as well, but I get a lot of people contact me going, oh, Steve, you know, I'm a great fan of yours. If I can help you at all, just let me know.
Yeah.
Why does it now? Why does it become my responsibility to find out how you can help me? So when someone ever does that, I say, oh, great, my dog's just done a crap on the garden. If you could come and clean it up, that'd be great. And of course, they're like, no, I don't do that. And I go, well, great. Why don't you start by telling me what you do? So don't show up just going, hey, anything you need. That's no good. Do your research. And Elon Musk, these people are easy. Easy. If you Google, just like you did me, if you Google Elon Musk, then you'll find out what he's up to, what he's doing. Is he looking at writing a book? Does he do podcasts? Does he do any marketing? What new venture is he involved in? You can do enough research online to find out what you have as a skill set that could help him. And then what you have to do is find out where he's going to be. There's a lot of, like, for argument's sake, if you want to meet Elon Musk, don't go to Japan because you know he lives in Los Angeles. Okay. So start looking up events in Los Angeles that are attended by Elon Musk or charities that are supported by Elon Musk, and buy a ticket. Buy a ticket to the event, go to the event, walk up to him and go, hey, how are you? You don't know me. My name's Steve Sims, but I do know that you're working on this project. How's that going? Because I noticed there were these 3 things that we could do to make it more successful. Now, trust me, people want assets. People want solutions. If you can show up, if I knock on your door If I knock on your door at 1 o'clock in the morning, do you have kids? Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married and we have a little son. Please not in the morning.
So let's say, for argument's sake, I knock on your door at 1 o'clock in the morning. I wake up your wife. I wake up your son. I wake you up and you come to the door and you open the door. Are you happy to see me?
Well, it would be mixed, I think.
Right. So if I say to you, if I'm knocking on the door and I say to you, hey, I want to be on your podcast again because I want to sell hair products that I'm going to be doing. So when can I be on your podcast? Okay. How angry are you that I bothered you at 1 o'clock in the morning to ask you that?
Well, an email would be also fine, I think.
Okay. So let's change it. I wake you up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I wake up your wife. I wake up your son. I wake you up. You come down. You open up the door. You're not happy. But I say to you, hey, I'm sorry for bothering you, but I just got this email. And by me doing something with it, I can make sure that you don't have to pay your mortgage or rent for your apartment or your home for the entire 5 years. Would this be of interest to you?
Yes, definitely.
You see, now you're going to be like, hey, come on in. Hey, babe, get the coffee on. Steve Sims is here. The bottom line of it is, if I show up as something that benefits you, you're interested because I'm an asset. If I show up for something that benefits me, I'm a salesperson and you're aggravated. So do your homework. Yes. Assets, no one can get enough assets. The other beautiful thing, and we're using Elon Musk as an example, this can be anyone in your community, anybody. There's one thing that we cannot purchase. One thing, time. And the more affluent you get, the more vulnerable you realize you are to time. You suddenly realize, I've only got 24 hours in the day. I want to launch a car. I want to launch a space rocket. I want to launch an internet. I want to do all of these things, but I don't have the time. But if I've got assets that can do it for me, I can be the vision. And now I've got assets that can actually do it. Now I'm happy. So the more powerful you become, the richer you become, the more successful you become, you realize how vulnerable you are to the hours in the day, and you are constantly looking for assets. And it doesn't matter if you find them in a party, a bar, a restaurant, or walking down the street. When you find an asset that can save you hours in the day, you grab that with both hands.
Yes, very true. So that's really cool. One of the questions that I also have in this formula before the podcast, what is your area of expertise? And you wrote down making things happen, but you do it in such an easy way to understand and communicate. That's really fascinating. That's really cool.
I just think people overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
Yes. I think people, they pretend to be smarter than they are. And to do that, they have to make everything that they do sound complicated. Now, I know some geniuses, Ray Kurzweil, Peter Diamandis, Elon Musk, Larry Page. These people can explain something to you very, very, very easily, because the smarter they get, the easier it is for them to communicate it to you. It's the people that pretend, oh, I'd like to explain that to you, but it's very complicated. They say it's complicated because they can't fully understand it themselves. Yeah. So with me, look, if I want to do this, I do this, and I keep it easy. If it's complicated, I don't touch it. And so when I'm working with my clients, and we got a Facebook group called An Entrepreneur's Advantage with Steve Sims, we constantly talk about simple things, how to simply do something, the most basic way to achieve something. So I'm very focused on the easiest way to get from A to B, yes, without making it complicated.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. So we already spoke a little bit about your Speakeasy Mastermind. And I looked at the landing page, and you already said there are not many information, but people are still coming, and they really love it. I saw some of the video testimonials. So how, I mean, this is related. If I would create this landing page and $2,000 for each person, I'm not sure if so many people would buy it. But the question is, you have such a strong personal brand within the internet. So how do you create such a strong personal brand like you have? What would you recommend to do?
Okay, so there's two parts of that. Okay. It's very easy to be a personal brand today. And the easiest way to do it is shout louder than the person next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Today, we're not in a society of who's the smartest, who's the most impactful. We are focused on who's the loudest. Mm-hmm. The people that get most visibility in our Facebook, in our LinkedIn, in our Instagram are the people that shout the loudest and buy more adverts. Okay. Those are the people we get to see. We may not like them, but those are the people we get to see. I had a concierge firm, and I used to work with millionaires and billionaires.
Bluefishing, right?
Bluefish, yeah. And no one knew who I was, apart from maybe 100 billionaires around the world. Okay. But that didn't matter. Once I realized how I could do it, and I decided, okay, I'm going to teach entrepreneurs to do it, I decided, okay, I'm not going to shout loud, but I'm going to shout direct. I'm not going to tell you how, hey, you can do this. If you do that, I'm just going to say, hey, why don't I help you? If you're looking to do this first. See how that works. And I would be direct. I would help people and show them, hey, I'm not leaning up against a car. I'm not doing selfies on a jet. I'm not trying to show you my mansion and my penthouse girlfriends, because I don't have any of those things. I don't want those things. But I'm going to show you how it can be done. You can either believe that person over there leaning up against a car they don't own, or listen to me because I've helped out Elon Musk and Sir Elton John. Okay, so that's how I first started. Now, it's easy to get people to follow you in social. Okay, if you put up a sexy picture of a girl, no matter what you say in the people are going to stare at it. Okay, if you put up a bright yellow or green sports car, it's going to grab people's attention. Okay, yes. And again, doesn't matter what you say in the copy, you're going to get people going to that picture. Okay, yeah. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm building up quite a following now. Am I building up a following of people that understand me and can relate to me? Or am I building up a following of people that like to stare at me? Okay, This is a big difference. A lot of people, they try and go and get eyeballs. They try and go and get likes. They try and go and get followers. What I'm trying to get is a conversation. I'm trying to get a community. I'm trying to get a group. And Steve D. Sims, 1M, I'm everywhere. Okay, I'm trying to get a group of creative disruptors that want to do things differently. And I didn't know how well I was doing. I didn't know if I was attracting people that were becoming committed or were just staring at me. So when I did my first event, I decided to test my credibility. I decided, and a lot of people are terrified to do this. And it's a scary thing. But what did we say about being scared earlier? If you're scared,
removing it.
Remove it. And if you're frightened of something, then go and do it to get rid of it. So I thought to myself, have I got any credibility? I don't know. It's very scary to check, you know? So why don't I check? I'm scared of it, therefore I should do it. Yes. I literally put up an event. I said, okay, and this was my first event 3 years ago. I'm going to do an event for 2 days where I'm going to tell you stuff that I know, and I'm going to bring some friends. $2,000, click here. Once you've paid, I'll tell you where it's going to be. But other than that, I'm not telling you anything else. Don't ask me for any details. Don't ask me for a schedule. Don't ask me for who's coming. Not telling you. And I posted that. We got about 15 people sign up that spent $2,000 just to try it, see what I was coming up with. And I thought to myself, hang on a minute. I've just made 30 grand, you know, and they know nothing. They know it's going to, and I said the city. In fact, I said the city. Carlsbad was the first one. So I said the city, I said the days. I didn't say the location. I didn't say what time it started or what time it finished. I could have had it start at 10 o'clock in the morning and finish at 11 each day. You know, I said nothing. So I phoned up someone. I phoned them up. And the first person that phoned me was a guy that had been following me. I had communicated with on social. We had commented on a couple of things. And I contacted him and I said, look, you've just paid $2,000 and you know nothing about the event. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, what's your problem? And I meant it as a little bit of a joke, you know, like, are you crazy? But I said, yeah, what's your problem? And he said to me, that's a great question, Steve. These are the problems I'm having today. And he told me what his problems were.
Yes.
And I thought, that's fantastic. I thought, hang on a minute. He's just told me what I need to know to be able to do a great event. Mm-hmm. So then I found out the next person. I said, okay, thank you very much for committing to come to the event, but I need to know, what's your problems today? So I changed the tone slightly. And he went, yes, great question. Actually, I'm having problems. And here's the funny thing. If you have about 20 people in a room and you ask them what the problem is, they probably all got about the same 5 or 6 same problems. You know, I want to grow credibility. I want to get wealthier clients. How do I stand out? How do I grow my social? All of these kind of things. Mm-hmm. So as it grew, I started understanding what I needed to teach, what people I needed to get in to answer these problems. So I thanked them. My first event sold, what was it? I think like 26 seats. Okay. It was just under 30 people. And I thought, this is great. And they loved it because everyone that was there, every one of my instructions and my teachings, everyone that I brought in as a guest answered their problems. And so they loved it. And they told their friends and people were like, where's the next one? I don't know. When's it going to be? I don't know. And so then we put on the next one. And one of the people that was at the event, because we didn't even have a name for it. You know, we didn't call it Mastermind. We didn't call it anything. And someone said, this is like a speakeasy. Now, everyone knows I like whiskey. So I went, that's it. So it became the Sims Speakeasy. Yes. And then we had, I think the next one we had like 40. And then we did it again. And this third one we did, we got 62. And they're all paying $2,000 for an event that they don't even know what's going on. And you can check it out, Sim Speakeasy. You can see how little information I actually have on there. But 62 people, that was too many. We realized that it wasn't intimate. It's very hard to have a conversation with 62 people. So yes, we actually said, okay, we're going to limit this to 40. And that was it. We said, we're only doing 40 people, maximum of 40. And everyone that signs up, we go, hey, thanks for signing up. Our next one's in San Diego on the 19th and the 20th of July. And it's $2,000. And that's it. That's all the information. We don't tell you anything. We don't even tell you where it is. We just tell you the city. And we got 5 spots left. So we've sold 35 places already. And get this, it's 3 months away. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, But as we're recording it, I'm 3 months away from the event and we've only got 5 slots left.
Yes.
That's because we focus on the problem rather than trying to pitch you to attend the event. Focus on the problem and become an asset, not a sale.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we do it. So I urge anybody out there, and I challenge you, check your credibility. You know, how you think you're successful, you think you're helping people, challenge it. Say to them, hey, I want to do this. It's going to cost you $5. Are you with me? Because everyone loves you until they have to spend $5.
Yeah.
Okay. So challenge it to find out how much credibility you really think you have. And then these people will show you how much you really have.
And if the answer is no, I don't give you $5, what next step would you recommend to do in order to raise your credibility?
So you need to look at how you communicate. If you're not getting people buying from you, if you're not getting people engaging you, if you're not getting people connecting with you, then the problem's you, and you. You've got to understand, are you putting up pretty pictures on social just to go how wonderful you are? You know,
Selfish.
It may look good, but it's not helping anybody. But if you start looking at how you address and how you communicate with people, that will answer how you're showing up. Start showing up for their benefit, not yours, for theirs. And if you start doing that, that builds up attention, it builds up loyalty, it builds up community, and more importantly than anything, it builds up a conversation.
Yeah, the most important thing. That's also in the content marketing area. There are people out there who are pushing their agenda, they're pushing with their content, and there are also people who are creating some area of communication where it's not a one way. It should be in 2 ways. It's not like that I'm posting and then never looking at it. For example, when I'm going live on LinkedIn, I'm going live and then I'm liking and mentioning all the people who are liked my video and getting in direct communication. That's the way, for example, my business model works, and it works really, really good. And that's totally, I mean, this is aligned with what you said. And when it comes to your mastermind, so if people attend to your mastermind, how should they feel at the end of the event? So what do you wish for them, and what are they actually achieving after this mastermind that they're attending?
So when they leave, I want them to feel 2 things. I want them to feel relieved, and I want them to feel as though they've had permission granted. When they turn up, I want them to feel uncomfortable. Okay? So what I want to do is when they turn up, they don't know anything. They don't know who's going to be there. You know, I'm not going to be polite. I'm going to be direct because I want you to be better than you are. Okay? Yes. I demand you to be better than you are. And you should demand you to be better than you are. At the end of the event, I want them to be relieved because they realize that all of the things that they want to achieve, they can do so easily. Okay? I want them to go, oh, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know it would be as easy as that, you know? And I want them to be given themselves permission. I want them to go, right, now I know how to do it. I'm not scared anymore. I'm going to go and do it. And so I want them to be uncomfortable when they turn up, and I want them to be relieved when they leave.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure many of them are uncomfortable when they're coming.
And that's true. I've had people say to me that, you know, I've come along to this event. I've had people say to me, I flew across America, or in some situations across the planet, to come to this event. And on the plane, my wife is saying to me, why are you going? And I'm saying, I don't know. But I feel kind of uncomfortable about it. But I know I have to go. And it's these weird kind of emotions that people get going to an event. They've never worked with me before. They've never been with my people before. And it makes them a little bit like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And it's a really strange feeling, but they like it. They like it quick and it grows. And if they can be uncomfortable about coming here, it's like you said earlier, and we both share a martial arts background. When you're going onto the mat, and the reason for you to be there on the mat is for you to get better, okay? And for you to get better, you have to challenge yourself. You also have to challenge your opponent. Now, how do you challenge yourself? By picking an opponent that's not as good as you.
Yeah,
you know,
it doesn't make sense.
No sense. So just like me and you, when we get on the mat, we look for the fastest, the strongest, the best fighter and opponent in the room. Do we intend to win? No. Will we grow from that interaction?
Yes, how?
Yes. And that's the point. We want you to come into a room with people that are better than you so we can help you become better.
Yeah, love it. And I think one important thing when it comes to your personal brand is the trust that people trust you, because I mean, you're very direct, straightforward. And this is something that you do, in my opinion, very good in your content that you produce. So you're building all these trust builders within your videos and all your social media channels. That's also a great way.
Yeah. Yes, I suppose I am, but I don't care. I honestly don't care if you trust me. Okay. And it sounds funny. It sounds funny as I'm saying it, but I really don't care if you trust me. I care that you listen to what I'm saying and take the elements that help you. You see, I don't care if you trust me. I don't care if you like me. I care that it works for you. If it works for you, you're going to come back. If it works for you, you're going to listen to me. Okay, that's all I care about, that it works for you. As I said to you before, about if you work with a very wealthy person, by making sure they're okay, you'll be okay. If I sit there worrying about your trust, then maybe I won't have certain conversations that will make you uncomfortable. Maybe I won't mention things that will cause you to feel aggravated. The fact that I don't care about the trust and the like, my job there is to slap you senseless so you go, shit, yes, I have to do this. You know, when you go on the mat, let me bring it back to the martial arts. When you go on the mat, do you like the opponent you're going to be sparring with or training with?
I don't care.
No, you don't. Do you trust the opponent?
No.
No. The only reason that you selected that opponent in the room is because they are qualified to help you get better. You don't care if they're good looking. You don't care if they treat you politely. You care that you are going to benefit from the interaction with that person. That's all you care about, isn't it? So you look to make sure that they are credible, they are qualified. All the other trust triggers and trust blocks and liking them. I know for a fact I have a few coaching clients that don't like me. Okay. I know for a fact.
Why?
Because I get them uncomfortable. I push their buttons. I challenge them. I demand more from them. I hold them uncomfortable. You know, there are some clients I have that I will yell at. Okay. Only a few of them, but there's a few that you just cannot communicate unless you go, why the fuck are you doing that? You know, and you have to get almost violent with them because they are not paying attention to what they need to be paying attention to. And I've said to them, don't call me anymore. You know, don't pay me anymore. Dude, stop the coaching because you're a waste of time because you're not focusing on doing it for you. If you need a friend, buy a dog. And that's the kind of conversations I will have with some people because my focus is on them getting better. Whether or not they like me is irrelevant. Whether or not they get better, that's critical.
Yeah. Well, this reminds me of one. I mean, I listened to some of your podcasts, and there's this conversation or the story that you told with Jay Abraham, how you met him the first time before you knew that this is Jay Abraham. So you in a bar or something, and you started a conversation, and then you later met him in event, and everybody said he came to you and said, "Hey Steve, how are you doing?" And everybody said, "You know Jay Abraham."
Yeah, it was very, very funny and very, very lucky for me. See, a lot of people meet people and they meet the business card first. You know, like you'll meet Richard Branson and you won't meet Richard Branson. You will meet Sir Richard Branson, the idol, the entrepreneur. You'll meet the marketing, the media marketing legend that is Sir Richard Branson. You don't know what cup of tea he likes. You don't know how many sugars he has. You don't know if he likes drinking alcohol. You don't know if he likes listening to music or walking the dog.
Yes.
All of those things are when you know people, okay? When I met Jay Abraham, it was just two guys at the end of the bar in Hollywood talking. Hey, what are you doing? How do you do? What are you doing? Why do you like that? We got to know each other. And then we got to know each other more. And then when I went to this event, and you're right, Jay came up behind me and rubbed me on the head. Now, I'm a big, ugly fella. You don't do that to people like me. And it bothered me. And I turned around thinking, who the hell is doing that? And who's going to regret it? And Jay's there. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Because I didn't know who the Jay Abraham was. Yes. And then it turns out he was the keynote speaker at the event. But to me, he was Jay who liked one too many whiskeys. You know, it was just that kind of thing. So it was very funny. And I've always tried to make sure, try to find out who the person is before you care about what it says on the business card.
And the best way to find out who this person is to ask why. Why are you doing the things that you're doing?
Why are you doing this? Why is it important? What do you want it to impact? Why did you start doing it? Why is a great word. It really is a fantastic word. But really, just be prepared to have a conversation. Thankfully, I was prepared to have a conversation with Jay. And the more I had the conversation with him, the more I got interested with him, the more I got fascinated with him, and we became buddies. Yes. And then all of a sudden, we discovered who we were. And now Jay's been on my podcast. I've been on his podcast. Yes. We still drink too much whiskey between each other. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm also a big fan of the mentors of all mentors, Jay.
Oh, he's definitely one of my mentors. You know, I've done so many podcasts with him now where we've just been sitting around and he's gone, hey, let's turn the camera on. Let's record this. And some of those have been released. Thankfully, most of them never have because we just get too drunk and no one can understand what we're talking about.
Cool. That's cool. So we are a little bit running out of time. So one thing was you also family man. And I'm always asking fathers, well, because I'm also a father. So how are you? How is it, so to say, a balance between your family life and your business life? How is there a strategy or rituals that you have?
Yeah, there's a discipline because it's very easy to forget. The easiest way to do it is I guarantee everyone's got one of these phones really close to them. Okay. I want you to open up your calendar and I want you to look at all of the appointments you've got over the next 2 weeks. And it's things like business meetings, business calls, Zoom calls, talks with your coach, going to the dentist, calling your attorney, your lawyer, calling your accountant. in the next 2 weeks, how many appointments do you have structured to play with the kids in the park, to take your wife for breakfast? I had an appointment yesterday to go to Malibu with my family in search of a lobster roll and French fries. Okay. It was in my calendar to do that at 1:30 yesterday. Okay. That way it removes it from my calendar. Nothing else can be booked over it. And I got on the motorbikes with me and my son, my wife and my youngest son. We rode over to Malibu in search of a lobster roll and French fries. I've got the same appointment just with my wife next Thursday. On Monday, I've got an appointment just with my son for breakfast. You see, don't fill up your day and your week and your month with shit you don't want to do, you know? Fill it up with stuff that you do want to do that makes you smile, that you should be doing. Discipline.
Great answer. Cool. Okay, my last question. Who do you recommend for my podcast? So I'm always looking for new interview partners, and also business coaches or people who have a big impact, create also good content.
Yeah, there's a lot of answers. There's hundreds of answers to that, and I'm not going to give you any. What I need to see is how you actually finish this podcast up, so that I can see your style, your tone, your communication. But the best people for you to have as guests are people that challenge the way you're thinking. So let me see how this comes out, and then I'll be more than proud to introduce you to a few.
Okay, cool. That's
you have my commitment. You have my commitment there.
Yeah, I'm trusting you.
Okay. Don't trust me, just care that I do it.
Yeah. Yes. Cool. Okay. Thank you very much, Steve. Was very valuable lessons, I think, to share with the community. I will include also the links that we spoke about also to your event into the show notes, so that people can grab it and find it, and also come to your event, which is, by the way, an offline event, right? It's not like you will meet the persons.
Oh yeah, no, it's a live event in San Diego. I don't do online events. I like to get with people, challenge them, have drinks with them, play, No, it's definitely an in-person event.
An exclusive event. That's
very
cool.
Exclusive.
Okay. I will add everything into the show notes. Really, thank you. And I hope to see you soon again.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your time. Bye.